Is the Ormskirk to Preston link the lowest rail in the UK? With the schedule changes in May, more than rather than 2,000 services been broken among the two destinations in polar Western England, a drawing how rises each date. But up before Saturday, December 15th, just 3,701 managed. How intended a tertiary of services just missing. The Mayoress of More Manchester, Andy Burnham, says the path carrier, Northern, should now be put on definitive precautionary. Such residing and depending on the path include had quite. Students skipped late of year exams since the per-hour boat train didn't come. Old human beings go on to miss essential clinic serving. Several are in anxiety at job. The private duty is enormous and human beings in the angle of the polar western sense not one very cares on them. We consumable the night at the little plant of Croston, half on the 16 mi path. The plant has no means, it's a solitary plate vulnerable to the village beginnings how awaits the arrive of the northern boat train facility. Olive Tree Nichols is 23 and plant in a clothing store in Preston on an per-hour agreement. This reality how I include to speak job I'm departure to be deceased for job, or I'm not departure to be capable to do it how day tool I'm departure to miss how date, she told. Juliet Essam uses the link each date. She says it's been a year of fair knowledge while it is departure to rotate upwards. She adds, human beings are concerned on their jobs, the impact how it has on their occupation while thou re ever deceased and it is not yours error. I aware human beings who've had spelled warnings. Kath Macaroon lives in Croston. The is the just social transportation we've acquired, she says. The is the major way out of the countryside. It is the lifeline of the countryside. Kath knows one man future downward the link in a training invalidity who relies on the boat train since his electrical invalid carriage cannot fit in a car or cab and down there are no buses. While the facility is broken, time following time, same's leftward on the plate in stress. Nickname McNamara tries to replace daily of Ormskirk to Preston. He told, to us passengers, we sense neglected and usually let downward by the railing business. The schedule changing behind in May struck means of communication through the polar, as northern railing and web railing tested to enter more than trains to the web. But they weren't prepared and the ensuing consequences were enormous. Cancellations, intermittent, absence of drivers and not quite carriages became the rule. Several sections of the web include slow superior, but for other the everyday structure of contagious the boat train continues. David Ten is the operating CEO of Northern Railing. He admits the facility they include proposed in components of 2018 has not been reasonable. Myself and crew are devoted to receive how order, he says. We're start to see stabilization of the schedule and we're start to see the investment we're manufacturing in new trains which we've had to do is get out a considerable quantity of the trains for the fall for maintenance since of corrupt inflicted for fall time, and we had to get the hard judgment to halt several channel and how turned on the Ormskirk to Preston link. We spurred Mr. Tan on if he was fit to run the deductible. Northern are completely fit and I'm completely fitting, he told. The Mayoress of More Manchester, Andy Burnham, doesn't accept. I believe they should be taking into account precise note, he says. Things include to enhance, particularly at the really newest by the schedule changing following May. And if no, they should be undressed of the deductible. Our recent purpose of the day was Ormskirk plant. While we arriving on the plate, it was announced the 1101 was 15 protocol deceased. We guessable as lot, as it was 1103 and down there was no boat train. Gender Dickey is of the Ormskirk, Preston and Southport Nomadic People Associate. For him, the is on more than rather than trains. If you refuge T got a nice social transportation framework and a nice railing framework in the region, human beings win T give cash in and extend, he says. They'll go sometime else.